So, all right, so welcome everybody. I am recording this so that if anybody wants to go back and watch it later, or if somebody missed it, they can come and find it on our page and watch it later at their own convenience. So today we're going to be talking about virtual field trips. And one of the nice things about virtual field trips is that they are free and you don't have any travel time. So you can go wherever you like, anywhere in the world. And so they make for a great alternative to just regular field trips, even during regular times. So if this turns out to be something you might not use while we're in the age of COVID, it might be something that you want to use when we get back to regular classrooms. So there are virtual field trips that you can find online, and I have some links to some of my favorite websites at the end. But what I'm going to be talking about today is creating your own. And so we're going to dive into using a tool to create your own called Google Tour Creator. Now, one thing I don't want to spend a lot of time on, because I do want to go through the kind of the steps about how to make a tour in Google Tour Creator, but I did want to throw up this list of potential ways that you can use it in the classroom. I've seen teachers take tours of castles. I've seen teachers take tours of places that were important during the Renaissance. I've seen some teachers use it to show landmarks or landforms or environmental issues, endangered species, lots of different things. One thing that might need a little bit of explanation is the lit trip piece. A lit trip is when you visit places that are discussed in a novel or in a story. And so I've seen teachers do this for The Great Gatsby, Into the Wild, Night, The Grapes of Wrath. So there are lots of ways that you could use this even in just studying a piece of literature. You can also have students create tours using Google Tour Creator. Google Tour Creator is super easy to use. And I think a lot of people are hesitant about it at first because they think it's going to be really complicated. But hopefully today I'll show you just how easy it is, and you'll be like, oh, I could do that, or I could have my kids do that. So, so there's that. There are 3 tools that Google puts out for making virtual field trips. There is Google Tour Creator, Google Tour Builder, super easy to differentiate the two there, and Google Earth Projects. So there's 3 different tools. They all function a little bit differently. So if today you're like, oh, that's not exactly what I was looking for, one of the other tools, 2 tools might fit the bill, might be what you're looking for. So I'll be covering those on Monday. And if you want to come back on Monday or go and look for those recordings later, you certainly can do that. So the features of Google Tour Creator, though, are that it creates basically a 360 tour, much like a Google Expedition, which I'll talk about here in a minute. And you can use a Google Tour made on Google Tour Creator with VR goggles or with VR headsets, but you can also view them online. You can add scenes from Google Street View or from photos that you upload yourself. You can include points of interest where you just type in text that describes those points, or where you overlay an image on top of it. And you can incorporate some narration into the scenes and into the points of interest. So I'm going to, in the tutorial, go through all of that, each of those pieces with you, so that you can kind of see how it all works and how it all functions. So essentially what you're doing when you use Google Tour Creator is you're creating an expedition. So some of you guys are familiar with this, but probably most of you are. Google Expeditions are a series of scenes that are 360 images that you can view through an app on your phone, and then put your phone in these nifty little goggles and view it. Some Google Expeditions you can also find online. So, and you can find all of the Google tours that you make online as well through their website called Google Poly. So, brief explanation of Google Poly. Google Poly is Google's website where they house anything that's been made with a 3D tool. So they have several different tools that make 3D things, and they're all housed here in Google Poly. So let's say I want to try and find an expedition about Egypt. So not all the expeditions are housed here, but some are. So let's say I'm looking for one on Egypt. I'm going to find anything about Egypt that was made in a Google 3D tool. If it has the number of scenes in the bottom right-hand corner, that tells me that it was made with Google Tour Creator or it's a Google Expedition. So if I only want to see those, I can filter, which is what I want to do today. So I'm going to filter to just the tours. And then these are all tours that have either been created by Google Expedition or by people about Egypt. So in the previous slide, I was telling you about how there's scenes and points of interest and all that. This might help kind of explain that if that was like, I don't understand what she means. This is a scene. So this is a 360 image from Egypt. And these little dots are points of interest. Okay. So this is the pyramids of Giza. It gives an explanation. And then if I click on these points of interest, it'll give me an explanation of a specific point within that photo. Okay, so that's what we're going to be creating today. Super quick, we're going to make a Google tour that has scenes and points of interest. All right. So I have notes here to kind of help me make sure I'm touching on my bases. In our tutorial today, I'm going to show you how to set it up initially, how to add scenes from Google Street View, whether it be from Street View itself or images that were uploaded to Street View. And so I'll show you that, what I mean by that. I'm going to show you how to add a scene from a photo that maybe you took yourself, add a point of interest, how to add narration to the scene, or actually it's called ambient noise to the scene, or narration to the points of interest. And I'm going to show you how to publish it, view it, and share it with kids. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Go out here to Google Tour Creator. All of these are linked on the slideshow, which we'll put into our spreadsheet with all the different webinars we've been doing. So this is Google Tour Creator's website. I'm just going to click Get Started. And when it loads up, you will notice that all the Google Tours that I've made are here, and that it's being made in my Google account. So my little picture is up in the top right-hand corner here. We're going to go ahead and make a new tour, and I'm going to call it Learn with Librarians, which I already have, so I'll just call it Learn with Libs. And so whenever you make a tour initially, what you have to do is you have to name the tour. You do have to give it a description. You have to select a cover photo. So select an image. I made a folder for this so that all the stuff I want to use for this project's in that folder. So I'll select a cover photo. And then I select a category. And then I can just click Create. I guess I should stop here. If you would like to kind of do it with me, you can split your screen and open up Google Tour Creator in another window next to this one and kind of work along with me. I'm going to go at a fairly quick clip because I want to make sure I cover everything. But if you're, as you're going along, you're kind of like, oh, I don't know what she meant by that or whatever. Type your question in the chat, and then at the end, I'll kind of go back through all those questions and answer them as best I can. So if you want to try to move along with me, you're more than welcome to split your screens. If you're not familiar about how to do that, you just right click in the bottom bar of your computer, and then you can show windows side by side, and that'll let you split your screen and do it both. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and create. All right, so now I'm going to create my first scene by pulling an image from Google Street View. I'm going to go ahead and start by trying to find a picture of Lee Summit West High School. So I'm going to type in the high school's address. You can search by address. You can search by city name, state, country, or by specific building. So like if I were to type in the Library of Congress, it would go straight to that building. So I'm going to go ahead and type in the school's address. And what will pop up is the street view outside the front of the school. So I don't know if any of you guys have been lucky enough to see the Google cars that drive around with the camera on the top taking pictures. This is an image that's taken from that camera. So this is a Google Street View image. And I can simply look for it. I like it. If I don't like exactly where it landed, I can pick up my little yellow guy. I'm sure he has a name. We can call him Bob, I guess. I don't know what his name is. But I can click on him and pick him up. And you see, I don't know if it's easy to see or not, but there's blue lines on the street. And that's where you can land your little guy, and you will find the image taken by the Google Street Car image taker, or whatever it's called. And if I land it there, that will show me what the image looks like from that position. Okay. If I like what I have here, I can just click Add Scene. And this becomes my first scene. The first thing I would do whenever I add a scene is I would set the starting view of that scene. So in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a little button here that says Set Starting View. If I click on that, it's going to take the picture kind of full screen for me, and I can drag to say, okay, this is where I want the image to start, and then just click Save. Okay, and so that's what, when anybody comes to look at my Google tour, this is the very first image they'll see. I need to title the image over here on the right-hand side. There's like this little column where I can type in information. So I can title my scene, give it its description. And if I want, I can add ambient noise. So I can click on this little sound icon. I cannot record within this tool. I have to upload something that I've recorded from somewhere else, or I've gotten from somewhere else. So I'm going to go ahead and select an audio file, and I just found an audio file online that was a free, copyright-free place. I'm going to add that, and there you go. Okay, we have not been able to work out the kinks of me being able to play a sound, or I haven't been able to yet play a sound and for you to hear it. So I'm not going to play the sound for you, but just trust me that it's there. All right. Then what I can do is I can add points of interest. So right here, again, on that right-hand side in that little column are where I can do things like add content, add information. So I'm going to add a point of interest. I am going to take this little icon that pops up, this information icon, and drag it to where my point of interest is. And then I just double click and title my point of interest. Give it a description. I can add an image overlay by clicking on the image icon there. So again, I just have already up those here to use. All of a sudden my computer is dragging, so my apologies. All right. Then I can add another point. Oh, that's awfully big. Let's make that smaller. I can add another point of interest if I want, somewhere else. I don't know, maybe this tree. Okay, and then you just kind of continue to go. All right, so that's how to add a scene from Google Street View, and then also how to add points of interest into a scene, including an image, including the ambient noise. And then one last thing I want to show you is how to add narration. So on this point of interest, I can narrate it if I wanted to by clicking on this little icon with this person with the speaker. But again, I have to upload the audio, which is, that means you have to record the audio somewhere. But there's this really nice website. It's super easy to use and so fast. And it's linked on our slideshow. So I can go to this website, click the little red icon. It will record me. Testing, 1, 2, testing. When it's done, I just save it, and it automatically downloads. When I click save, it automatically downloads into my downloads folder. Okay, so Easy website to use. It's called Online Voice Recorder. The link is on the slideshow. I just say what I want, save it, goes into my downloads, and then when I go back to my tour and I select audio, I'll just need to find it in my downloads folder and put it in here. Because there's lag right now, I'm going to go ahead and cancel that and not do it. I don't want to keep lagging. Okay, so next I want to show you how to add a scene, another scene, and this time we're going to add an image from Google Street View. So an image that somebody took and then uploaded to Google Street View. So I'm going to click Add Scene, and this time I am going to add a scene from the Library of Congress. Take me right out there. And so here's my little guy sitting in the middle of the Library of Congress. I'm going to click on him and drag around, and you'll see the blue lines. Those are Google Street Views. So the blue lines are the pictures taken from the Google car. The little circles are images that people took and then uploaded on top of Google Street View. So if I hover my little guy over one of those circles, I will get a 360 image that somebody took and then put on Google Street View. So let's say I want that one. I can just click Add Scene, and then that scene gets added to my to my Google Tour. Okay, so that's how you find images that somebody's taken and put on top of Google Street View. You can also add images that you took. So we're just going to add another scene, and this time I'm going to upload an image that I took. You can upload 180 images or 360 images. So I can upload an image I took that's a panoramic picture, just like with my phone, or I can upload a 360 image that I took with a 360 camera. So I'm going to show you both so you can kind of see the difference between the two, because it does look a little wonky, the 180 one. Okay. So this one is a 180 image I took of our library this morning. I'm going to go ahead and add it to the scene. So here you go. It's a nice picture. It turns out okay. All right, and I can go all the way around. Then you see the seam is a little weird because it's only 180. It's missing half of the room, okay? But if really you're just looking at showing something, in a particular area or whatever, you can do a 180 image and it'll be fine. I can also use a 360 image. Now, we have a 360 camera that you can check out from the library. I believe the high schools, Jen, do you guys have one? Yes. So
yes, we do.
Okay, excellent. And I know Lee Summit North does, and I'm not confident about the junior highs, but I think they do. So here's one that we took with our 360 camera at one of our learning lunches. So here we go. I hope nobody's mid putting food in their mouth. They would be mad at me if I put this picture up. Oh, and you can see me, I'm taking the picture with the camera. Normally you don't see the person taking the picture with the camera because you have like a clicker or remote that you can take the picture with. But for demonstration purposes during this session, I was just standing there using it. Okay. All right. Title my scene, give it a description, all that good stuff. All right. So now that I'm done with my show, I think I've done all this stuff. I've set it up, added a scene from Street View and from the uploaded photos on Street View, added a scene from my own photo, points of interest, narration, ambient noise. Okay, we're ready to publish, view, and share. So to publish, all you do is click the publish button. And when you do that, it's going to ask you if you want it to be public or unlisted. If it's public, it will show up on that Google Poly website. So you can search, anybody can search for it and find it there, okay? So if you make it public, it'll show up on that website. If you choose unlisted, it will only go to people who you shared the link with. So if I have a link, if I've made one, it'll give me a link that I can then push out to my students and they can see. So you don't have to make it public. You can make it unlisted and it will work just fine. I'm going to make this unlisted because I'm going to delete it eventually. When I click publish, it will pop up with a window in a minute here that has the link for me. And it will also allow me to go and view the tour. So we'll go ahead and go out to view the tour. And here's my scene 1. Here are my points of interest. One little note, whenever you're viewing one of these, if there's sound in it, ambient noise or narration or whatever, there is a little gear that shows up in the top right-hand corner, and you have to click that gear and turn the ambient noise or the narration on. It's not automatically there. So you have to turn it on by using the gear. There's my first point of interest, my second, so on and so forth. And then I can click through and see all my scenes. Okay. I can share it from here. So I click this share button. I can embed it into a website. I can embed it into Schoology. So if you create a page in Schoology from the resources, you can embed it into there. You can send it to Expeditions so that the next time you log into your Expeditions app, it will be on the app for you. It's not on everybody's Expedition account, just on yours. Or I can tweet it, copy the link, whatever, share it however I like. Okay, so last few things in the slideshow. Here's some helpful links, some of the places that I went today, and then also the tour creator tutorials done by Donald Piercy. He has done some really great tutorials. They're nice because they're super short. They're like, you know, less than a minute sometimes, and it's just simply like showing you how to do one thing so that you don't have to go through a whole bunch of time just to find the one thing you want to know how to do. And then here, I promised you guys some of my favorite places to go and find tours that are already done. Probably my favorite that I found this summer is this UPM Forest Life. It's a virtual tour of a Finnish forest, and it is incredible. They have ambient noise that is piped in that sounds like you're walking through the forest. I don't know if you can hear it. You can't hear it, can you? Kind of. I'll try to turn that. Kind of hear it. Anyway, they have ambient noise, and then you can just kind of skip the intro there if you like, and then go to different places and just go straight to the path. I'll show you. And it just kind of walks through the path, and then they'll show you different things that are along that path. So like here, it's telling me that one of the things I'm hearing is this woodpecker. And I can click to learn a little bit more about the woodpecker if I want. So I love this site. I know it has nothing to do with what I was sharing today, but I was going to share with you some of my favorite virtual tour places, and that is one of them. So I think one last thing is this slide here. We are doing the Learn with Librarian lunches on Monday, but that's our last day for them. So if you, and I'll be doing one on Google Tour Builder and on Google Earth projects next Monday as well. So this isn't exactly what you were hoping for. You were thinking, I wanted it to be able to do blah. One of those other two might be able to do that for you. So I'll take questions if there are any. I know I went super fast, but I wanted to try to show how easy it could be. Any questions? No? All right, thank you guys for coming. Shoot us an email if you would like some help in getting started, or
okay.
Oh, go ahead.
I do have a question. I couldn't type fast enough though. I have a GoPro 360, and I have like a GoPro account to where when I take 360 pictures and stuff, But once I download them to a computer, what format do I need to have them in?
I believe it's just in here in ours. I believe they're just JPEGs. But let me go.
Okay. Maybe once I put it up on there, it'll go back to 360 because.
Let's go to my properties. It's a JPEG file. It'll look when you're looking at it in the. So,
looks bad, yeah.
Yeah.
But when you upload it to the virtual thing, it'll come out normal.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. Any other questions? All right. Thank you guys so much. You have a good day.